On to the next day in the Chronicles of. This has been a really great day. I have been really slogging it hard, involved with tendrils of get out of me. I can feel you poking around in my energy and I don't dig it and get lost. And just really puzzling over what is the problem here? Why is there a holdup? Can you not understand that you're doing this to yourself, And I don't want to be taken down in your nightmare of whatever the hell it is that you're misunderstanding. I'm not misunderstanding that. However, I'm getting splashed with your acid and I really don't like that. I also don't like feeling like I'm susceptible to, energetic crapola. However, when people keep putting hooks and they're trying, that's karmic no-no. You want to be cosmically cleaning up better than that and, not creating new hellholes to dive into, because when that hellhole opens up, where a hook has been placed in another person, it takes you down. It can take a portion of me down if I allow it. And it can also drag me into that reality tunnel with those people, whomever it is, or that energy bundle, that collective of bad ideas and bad energy. It can bring me down in terms of being a drain on my energy. That no, I don't have to be directly affected by it. It takes a lot to maintain that. Thank you, Spirit, for clarifying. Thanks for the clarity. That it takes a lot of energy to maintain the bombardment during that spiritual warfare garbage, which is negative, nasty, horrible intention being shot my way or your way or anybody's way. Negative intention being shot in anybody's direction. That's black magic, whether it's called that or not, whether it's through, the papacy, or, the doctrine of, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And it doesn't matter if it's organized into a certain cult religion or Sunday morning experience or Thursday night experience or full moon experience. It does not matter. Energy is energy, and it doesn't care whether you label it something in particular or not. It's going to behave exactly the way that it does, the properties of energy. And by the way, we don't know enough about the properties of energy to be slinging it around badly. That 5D and fifth element are not the same. And ascending into the new earth and that whole idea, it's beautiful. However, let's bring some science into that and understand that when we're squirting out frequency that is ugly, hostile, and unpleasant, murderous, or whatever it is, raping, pillaging, I want it my way, and I don't care how this affects anybody else. I'm getting what I want, and I don't care if there's generations to come that can survive. Doesn't matter. That's a low vibe, and absolutely no. And it takes a lot to fend that off when it's being concentrated and directed at one particular group of people or one particular person. Whoever the target is going to be affected if they're susceptible to that, and still mildly, even if they're not as susceptible and more protected, they have to work harder to keep up their protection. And that's where I was today. It was just early this morning, woke up in pain still and not feeling good, had canker sores on my tongue and a little bit of a fever, and my teeth are hurting and I'm sweating and cold chills, having all these ascension symptoms and upgrade symptoms, which, okay, I can tolerate that. However, having flashes of anger and rage and what is wrong with you? I just want to smack you. And those feelings of, will you please back up out of my auric space? My etheric body can sense you getting near my bubble and I ain't digging it. So it took an extra amount, the last few weeks particularly, but today I was just kind of fed up and Spirit, please, what's up? And the most beautiful thing happened. I have to just keep reminding myself, stay faithful, stay faithful, stay faithful. Because even if I'm wrong, even if I'm absolutely wrong, staying faithful to what I feel truly faithful in and have demonstrated proof that it's the right thing to do and it feels good, is keeping me more sane than if I were out there chasing a more traditional path, or out there chasing something that I thought would be the answer. Feels like I'm stagnating. I should be going out there, and you should be doing nothing. You should be doing absolutely nothing, which is what I did. Like, all right, I don't have that sense that I'm going to go do what I thought I was going to do today. I'm going to stay home today instead, am I? Okay. And the most beautiful thing happened. I had a delivery, grocery delivery, and the person that showed up is deep into a lot of things woo-woo weird that I'm into, and a very interesting individual, probably about my age. I don't know, older, more mature person, that I just think she's really neat, and I'm looking forward to getting to know her, and deep into some topics that are of spiritual and esoteric nature that just I find very fascinating, and she knows a lot more about it than I do. So that's spirit saying, don't worry, your soul tribe is making their way towards you. Now, I'm not jumping, holding hands and jumping off Lover's Lane with a new friend. That's not a good idea. And as in my past, that was something that I would do, is go, cool, I'm on to you now. We're attached and we're joined at the hip. Because I didn't understand, that you can't just attach to people just because, or attach to them and expect to be there forever and ever. We're going to be bosom pals right till the end. Not everybody plays like that. And not everybody should, because not everybody can bring that kind of commitment to their game. Please, I'd much rather that if you know that you're not really going to be able to hang with me, please don't even try, because it's annoying. And I will do the same, that if I don't think I can hang with you, I will just politely decline any future interaction. This woman, however, she's been fun. She has an avatar and excuse me, Bitmoji, and a couple of them that just, it's hilarious. I have a dorky one, and she plays, and so it's been fun, and we don't have to hold hands and jump off Lover's Leap together, and I'll have to expect that she's gonna be my friend forever, never, 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 never. As friendships develop, they develop. As relationships develop, sometimes people are here for a season, sometimes they're here for the duration, and most are somewhere in between. In terms of the intimate circle, it changes. So that was the first thing, is that I ordered my groceries and she showed up, and she invited me to come over to her house in a couple of days, and just hang out, chill out, and get to know one another and talk about some of those topics that we have mutual interest in. That was awesome. It was really awesome. It was like, wow, there's a soul sister, and I got my breath of courage from the universe. Thank you. I can make it now. And then not 2 hours later, a maintenance issue had come up in my apartment, and they had not really taken care of that. For whatever reason, it's been a couple of weeks since originally I called them in the middle of the night and said, yeah, could you take care of that right now? And the kid got sick and whatever reason, the guy knocked on my door. I was like, I'm not expecting anybody, and I don't dig it. If I'm not expecting you, please don't knock on my door. And so it's just disruptive, and I live a pretty quiet life, and I don't like interruptions, especially boom, 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 So I answered the door, and this beautiful man standing there, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm here to fix your sink. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were showing up. I'm sorry, I didn't know. So be flexible there, Kate. Okay. And he comes in, and he was fantastic. And he also expressed some interest about universal energy, said something about it's all about energy. So did the first person, a woman, and the second one was a man. And they both mentioned the term, verbatim, universal energy and karma. I'm like, what? What are the chances of moving to Colorado Springs a few months ago, and in one day being able to connect with two different people, male and female, and totally different, completely different appearance and energy, completely different, both of them into astrology and energy and understanding universal law that's, not religious based. It was absolutely fascinating. And again, it's not like I have to grab a hold of either one of them by the hand and say, okay, we're going to be together forever and ever and ever, amen, right? We're going to be together for as long as we're together, either for the duration of thanks for fixing my sink and never see you again, or, maybe I see you. I don't know. I've had to learn how not to get too attached to a situation, a person, and anything, because it will be taken away. Unfortunately, that was true for me as a kid. I had a lot of stuff taken away that I really loved, and it was just gone one day, okay, a lot of violation of personal space, personal property, no privacy, no sense of boundaries. I didn't know any. I had zero boundaries. So I'm having to learn and reparent myself on, yeah, there's not everybody that's going to want to play the way that you play. And so it's just really exciting to be able to talk to the dude I didn't exchange phone numbers with. He's the maintenance guy. It's probably best to not be taking phone number of the maintenance guy. Not to say that he's not a nice person. It's just know the situation and what you're doing. And I felt comfortable enough with the woman that we did exchange numbers. And then just this beautiful volley going back and forth of us speaking in our avatars, and just hilarious, to see the beauty of other people. And the story that the man had, she has quite a story as well. But I actually got to talk to him longer because he was fixing my sink. So he was telling me he's got a lot of very honorable behavior. If he's actually doing what he said he's doing, it's quite honorable, and I believe that he is. I didn't get any sense that he was lying. As an empath, I can usually tell when somebody seems kind of conflicted at a minimum, and I'm not digging into anybody's energetic closet or into my psychic or mediumship skills without there being some prompting from spirit. I don't go asking questions about anybody's personal stuff or any of their history or anything. I don't ask any energetic anything. 1111. I feel the energy that I feel and know that if it's going beep beep beep, then I need to back up off of it. I don't need to investigate why. I just need to back up off of it and say, okay, I need to exit the building quickly and not with you. Okay, and depending on how much it weirds me out is how quickly it's going to need to move out. But I don't ask a whole lot of questions of why would that person be weirding me out, or what's their background, or blah blah blah. I don't go all psychic with that, because that's, again, universal laws. Don't be messing around in closets you don't have any business. That's not yours. Don't go up in there. Don't be browsing confidential files kind of thing. And even energetically, especially energetically, you'd be better off if you were reading somebody's actual file, medical file or something, than to be digging into their energy or loosely, bombastically throwing ass around like you know what you're doing, because those collectives of nasty energy that sit around and intentionally work to do terrible, horrible spell work and that kind of just junk that is targeted towards individuals, hate groups, anything that's going to join together, anything, even a church group, if it's shutting someone out on Sunday morning and saying that's the sinner, that's the bad one, that's a collective of ugly energy. Even if some of it's really great and positive, it's going to be brought down. The overall average is going to be brought down because throat chakra, no, it's going to be brought down. Clear it and go, because the overall vibe might be here once in a while, but if the tone down there is we don't let the black people in, or we don't let the Chinese people in, or the gays, or the women that are overbearing, we don't do this, we don't allow that, the hypocrisy. Jesus, it's gonna be 46 degrees tomorrow. It's 20 something tonight. Go figure. Jesus, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Mother Teresa, Gandhi. There are many people that have talked to us about how it is that we can work through this paradigm, and whether they call it the 5D paradigm or the shift ascension, excuse me, hello. Whatever it's called, I'm not sure why that escaped. It doesn't matter how it's labeled. We need a bridge of understanding for everyone to get it, that there is no one that will be left behind. There is no one that can be left behind. And if we're going to listen to the great leaders that have come before and actually heed what they say, that's their fundamental message. It's the same one over and over and over again. And what we do is we take it, we dissect it, we take it and parcel it out and cut it up, chop it up, divide and conquer, and find a wiggle room or a reason why. And no, the basic principle is holding the same. Regardless of what sacred text you might turn to, universal laws don't have a care for who wrote the book about the universal laws. Universal law doesn't care. Energy does not give a shit whether you name it energy, electricity, lightning bolt. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if you understand the properties of it either. Hold a golf club out on the golf course in the middle of a lightning storm and see what your odds are, Effie Trankerton, when, the odds are never in your favor when you're challenging the odds that badly. They will send the mop-up crew afterwards when it's done raining and you're done frying, and done playing the odds badly. So it doesn't matter whether I understand that concept or not. I'm still subject to obey the principles of that energy. And when we don't understand, you're playing with nuclear type energy here and you're splitting atoms and going nuclear fission. You better know your mission there, cowboy, before you set out, because when we're throwing ass around, or we're throwing evil intention around, or heaven forbid spell work that's formalized, magic, potion, garbage, and I mean the garbage, because there's perfectly good, legitimate, wholesome casting spells that can be done, as long as they're done for the exclusive purpose of that individual person. It is a universal no-no. Playing with fire and not understanding the properties of fire, you're going to get burned. You might play with it a few times until you set yourself on fire, and then, whoa, that's terrible. That we may not be out there trying to control and manipulate and law manifest our way into getting what we want. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. If you want to use the power of electricity, you better have respect for what it is, learn about it, and take the messages from the people that came before. And if you got some great discovery about it that's beyond that, that's beautiful. However, don't make shit up about energy that isn't true. Electricity has already stated principles. The only thing we can do at this point is learn more about them, not reinvent what they are. We can't just make up stories about stuff because it doesn't fit our agenda. The agenda is, there is no agenda. Everyone goes. Everyone is important. Everyone has a place. Everyone has that kernel of goodness in them. Now, Godzilla-ing so far away from it that it's not being expressed or even remotely close to knowing that it's in there, that makes it very difficult and lets me know how ignorant the class is about our study of electricity. That kind of thing. And that's really the angle that I come from. And on the days, weeks, months, whatever, when I'm struggling with the unruly student who's just disrupting the class and being an a-hole, that leads me to this morning where I'm going, oh my God, if I have to deal with pain anymore, or cracked teeth and, missing a tooth, I'm tired of this, I don't want to do it anymore, and throw myself on the floor, have a fit, cry and say, please, and trust. Because it does work. I don't always get, people show up in my life just because. That's not what I mean. I mean, the prayer is answered. It's a matter of, did you hear that the prayer was answered? Did it need to be that person had to show up, knock on the door, and actually speak to me in order for me to believe that miracles are happening every day? The miracles were happening before those people even showed up, because I started to feel better. I took a shower, or no, actually I took a bath, a spiritual bath, a cleansing bath, with some good stuff in the bathtub, and, really soaked in there and thought, okay, release all the toxins, release the negativity, and not let that attach to me. Clear it and ground and clear it and ground and clear, get it out of here. And look outside at the mountains and just really redirect my attention, refocus, and distract myself from, I could be really concerned or riveting on the pain. And sometimes it's so overwhelming, I just really have to give it some attention of, okay, this really hurts, cry, and dive deep into that black hole experience of, oh God, this is terrible. And not for long enough to acknowledge that, yep, this is some stuff that really hurts, and then move it on, as soon as I can and as quickly as I can, and submit to that experience and allow the healing to come, because the healing will come once I get to the brutally honest part of it, which is, this is excruciating and I don't think I can stand this anymore. I don't want to do it. I'm done. Please stop. No. And not reach for some other distraction right then. That's not the time for the distraction. If I'm going into the black hole, I got to go all the way. Can't do it half-assed. There's no way to do that. You got to either dive in with both feet or don't dive in. And if I don't dive in, then usually that's where the addictions start up. And, we find those, well, I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to go over there and do that instead. And addiction can look a lot like, your traditional chemical based. And it also looks a whole lot like self-righteous indignation or guilt tripping, shaming, gaslighting, angry outbursts, any kind of directed, hit towards somebody else, and I'm going to squirt and exert my rage or my whatever, my manipulative technique, whatever it is. And the more that I do that and add my chemical addiction or my other whatever addiction it is, man, that's just, it's making the addiction nut roll bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the longer I ignore that and pretend like that the only things that are bad out there are those people that drink too much, or they do crack, or they're a hoe. Yeah, we all have something, a lot of something, some of us, and it doesn't matter the number of somethings we have. The number of times we're being taken away from spirit and our own soul, that's really, truly how that addiction gets fixed. How you fix it, that's up to you and your team to work out that algorithm about how you can go forward. And it's not anybody else's job to say how that's done. There's lots of people that can help us, get started down that good red road, or whatever road, the journey of how am I going to fix me, that I no longer need to do that in order to cope with my everyday life. I don't need to snort something, nor do I need to smack someone in a parking lot because they stole my parking spot. I don't need to beat my kid because I don't know how to discipline them appropriately. I don't need to touch people funny because I don't know how to do that. I was never touched appropriately. I mean, there's a whole lot going on there, and it's pretty treacherous territory for people that don't know how to deal with their emotional baggage. And there's just so much. Sometimes we come into our adulthood, honestly, most of us with trauma of some kind. There's not any of us that makes it out at this point without trauma because of the stepped up violence of where we are and what's happening in our society. It is where it is, and it's time to change. So I'm doing my part by saying thank you very much to Spirit. Thank you very much for bringing me demonstration today. That was just really sweet, because I don't command the universe to bring me somebody to entertain me or do this or do that. I say to the universe, please, I'm having a moment. Can you give me some rescue breaths that, I need some courage. I need faith. I need something to nibble on that's a little more than that communion wafer, please, and a jug of wine, I need something that's going to sustain me. Please help me. Please help me. And so I turned on my brainwave music, and I turned on the bathtub, filled it up with Epsom salts, and made my preparations for that. Did my rituals around the house. Thanked the full moon immensely for the energy that's still carrying forward, and then noticed that, oh yes, I am feeling better, and noticing that instead of noticing the other side of it, which I could have said, well, it's not gone. Okay, well, it is much better. So that's where I landed. All right, well, Leo's parked himself down on the floor in a very odd spot, and yeah, it's time to go and figure out what he might need, get him some din din, and continue. I'm on a kombucha fast right at the moment, drinking kombucha teas, kombucha period, this weekend, probably exclusively to try to help get that light body thing a little more even keel, that I can receive information and then be able to process it, be strong enough to process all of that. Yeah, that's been an interesting challenge with my stomach being torn up. Eating has been a real challenge, so it's not helping anything to not have enough water on board, enough liquids, and the right kind of food. So anyhow, yada, 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 it's time to go. Thank you.